Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now.
Yo, how you living? How you feeling? How you doing? This is First Choice Fantasy. We're back today with another video. It's a 2021 Dynasty offseason video. We got videos circulating constantly with this Dynasty content. You know what I'm saying? It's June, so you don't want to hear nothing about your first-round pick and redraft leagues, all right? So today, actually, before we even get into it, boys, how you living? How you feeling? How you doing?
Alive.
Yeah, doing good, feeling good. Got these VETS. And just to throw it out there, since it's the beginning of the show and got the max amount of people watching it right now, what do you consider a veteran? After their first year in the league?
Brandon, again, if I were you, I would
league?
just drop it because this is just not a good idea. I'm just telling you that an NFL veteran is technically someone who's accrued a year of service in the NFL. So
I think it's, personally, I call it after the first contract.
I haven't
for
seen
every possession other than running back. Running backs, that's like 3 years.
Regardless of what we believe, you guys should definitely comment your thoughts because comments increase equals views increase equals suggested increase. So just comment whatever the fuck you think it is.
Like it. Dislike. You can dislike it. I don't fucking care. That just tells me you watched. Constructive feedback is good feedback. Unconstructive feedback is decent feedback. Tell me I'm ugly. Brandon already knows that he's ugly, so you don't have to tell him.
I've never heard of this.
That's why Brandon's sitting so far away. He's trying to hide.
All right, boys. We got three motherfuckers that we do not want to touch in Dynasty Fantasy Football today. Next week, maybe we're going to talk about the veterans we will touch multiple times in Dynasty leagues. But for today,
I would not say that on
three veterans that each of us chose. And going to go one by one. So, Alex, kick it off with your number one.
I'm going to start off with the biggest name on the list, and that is Ezekiel Elliott. Because anyone –
Fire.
I feel like I'm almost just – I guess – what's going on here? I guess it's dark now. I feel like I'm I'm just preaching to the choir here because I feel like anyone that's actually watching this probably already holds this opinion, but like the man just wasn't good last year. And like we have enough numbers about touches and shit to know that like it's only going to go worse and he's only going to be less effective next year. And that might not stop him from finishing as an RB1 because I don't trust the Jerry Jones-led Cowboys who, along with Mike McCarthy, who is, I guess, still technically driving that ship. I don't really trust them to realize that he like isn't better than Tony Pollard anymore. So like he still might get a lot of work. He still might finish as that RB1, but like his time's coming. And if you have him, you should get rid of him because you could still get a lot for him. And in like a season or two, that's not going to be the case. Like he's going to go the way of Todd Gurley very quickly, and you can be on the right side of that or the wrong side. The Cowboys are already on the wrong side, and they'll probably push that a little further. You know, make the call, make the correct call.
You don't think Dak Prescott coming back from injury is going to positively affect Ezekiel Elliott?
I don't think you heard me. I just said I think he could very well finish as an RB1 this season because of the touches that they gave him. But, like, his time is coming. Like,
after this year, regardless of how he performs, I think his value is a big dip from this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's been declining. He's objectively declining. I don't think there's any other way to look at it. Like, I don't have to go reference, like, tweets or shit or stats or stuff. Like, it's out there. Go find it. He's declined.
I know the way I run Dynasty football and how I handle running backs, I try and stay away from running backs that are on to their second contract. Because
which is the thing you should
like players like Aaron Jones, he may look fantastic, top 5 guarantee, but 2 more years, you never know where they're going to be. You could send him off, get yourself a young, up-and-coming rookie running back, or 1 year in the league, I'd say go for it
with Zeke, because I'm sure unless you play in a league where everybody feels this way, but if this is already the case, then like this situation should have already resolved itself. You should be able to find someone to trade Elliott to for like a lot.
Yeah.
Do it. Go do it. That's it.
Kind of goes for the same for, I would say, for somebody in the same realm as like a it's going to be a hot take. I'm not saying he's going to be Zeke's level, but it's the same type of, strategy you're doing here. Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook. I already have Derrick Henry in one of my dynasty leagues, and shipping him away, oh my God, it's a headache. Like I took over this team. I didn't take Derrick Henry, but he was on the team already. And I've been trying to trade him away, and everyone's like, yeah, I don't want to buy him. It's like, I understand that he's like at his peak right now, like value-wise, he's up there. But like I can't do anything with that. You know what I mean? Like the next 2 years, like he could literally be out of the league in 2 years, something like that. And you're trying to get out from that right now while he still holds value. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with Zeke. I think it's the same thing with Dalvin Cook too, even though Dalvin Cook, he's pretty fucking good too. But you don't know what's happening in 2 years. These running backs that are super elite and super, top 5 running backs, other than I would say CMC.
I mean, he's only had like, I guess what, like two
years
seasons?
of prime.
He's got a couple of years
value.
left. Personally, I think you should wait until, and this is kind of tricky because sometimes a guy gets like Gurley got hurt, and sometimes that's just the end. But someone like Elliott, the decline is slower. Like last year, he was still like a low-end RB1, despite the fact that he played about as efficiently as like Peyton Barber would have. And like for someone like Cook or Henry, like even when their play slips, they'll probably get touches. Just I'm kind of in the camp that you should wait until the play starts to slip, and then you should try to capitalize on the value. But I guess it depends, because if you're in a real like hardcore like league that everyone's paying super attention to, like they're going to notice that he slipped as well. So I guess you got to toe that line if you want to make the most out of it. Or you could just enjoy the RB1 production until it goes away. But
capitalize on it.
And you're stuck.
Speaking of RB1 production until it goes away, I think this man maybe had 1 year as an RB1, but he had that, top 6 draft pick in the NFL, Leonard Fournette. That's the one I'm staying away from, right?
Yeah, top 10 ADP in his rookie season. Top 5, I believe.
I think he lived up to that year too, but that was it.
Yeah, I believe so. That was like his only good year.
Yeah.
One of a couple.
Seen as a superstar from there on out, but it disappeared real quick.
Slowly but surely.
He's probably not even seen as like a top 20 running back at the moment. Maybe. I don't know where he lies, but I know I don't want him at all. He's 20? He's like 26. Age is not really a deep thing here, but the fact that he went through waivers last year, right? When he got dropped by the Jaguars. That's a fucking slap in the face right there, obviously, getting cut up Jaguars. But then not getting picked up by anybody, and then getting picked up by the Buccaneers for you to be used as a receiving back more than a running back. It's not a good
scenario when you look back at it.
Oh, yeah, and going forward, it's going to continue to be an odd one. I mean, he's not getting any younger. You know what I mean? His usage is probably going to decline in this year, regardless of what you think about the playoff run and how good he looked in there. Last year, he was barely used. To bring in Giovanni Bernard, who, sure, he's not as good as Leonard Fournette, I guess you could say in a sense, but what he does is what Leonard Fournette did last year, receive the ball. So, I mean, brought in added competition to what he did last year that actually made him partially relevant in fantasy. And then other than that, he's gone. Like rushing-wise, Ronald Jones is a better rusher. Giovanni Bernard's a better receiving back. So Leonard Fournette's going to get like touches here and there, but it's not really going to matter that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've long thought if you could get like anything of substance for him that you should be doing it immediately.
Yeah, he hasn't been efficient for shit for like the past 3 years.
Jacksonville did him a favor of throwing him the ball nonstop for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
He went from not at all good at it to kind of good at it, and then that got him a job this year.
Got him a Super Bowl run, yeah.
He can thank the Jags for that, which is something that not many people can say about like anything. Thanking the Jags.
Yeah, and another running back that we're just running down. This guy.
I left him for you.
So Melvin Gordon, it's a prime example of why you should trade running backs after, their rookie contract. But 2017, you would have never thought, well, probably would have thought if you were prepared, but you would have never thought 2 years later he'd be completely, not thought to be a top running back. 2018 was kind of mediocre, had a solid year, and then it just fell off. 2019 with the Broncos. He had the usage. He was used as, the lead back, but just getting old. That's exactly what we're preaching about Ezekiel Elliott. And now he's got Javonte Williams there. And, I kind of just went with this guy because I saw the two guys you guys just talked about, and I thought it's just a prime example of what Elliott could be in the next year.
I will say, in a hilarious sense, Gordon still finishes, I believe, in upper half RB2 last season. So I guess we're just going to keep talking bad about him until it comes true.
Yeah.
But, the writing appears to be on the wall.
You guys want to hear what the crystal ball says?
What's that?
The crystal ball says that Javonte Williams was drafted for a reason. Whew, shocker. And then, Javonte Williams is going to be a fantasy football playoff superstar. Melvin Gordon becomes a free agent. Goes to the Cardinals to be a backup, and that's it. He's out of there.
Cardinals.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Someone writing this down?
Is that third string to Edmonds and Connor, or is that
No,
second string
draft.
to Edmonds, or is that third string to Edmonds and a draft pick?
Edmonds not going to be there. They're going to draft somebody, and Melvin Gordon's going to be the backup. And Benjamin's going to be the second running back. Forget the Benjamin take, but Melvin Gordon's going to be gone after this year. I can tell you that much.
Going to the
He's
Cardinals.
not going to be worth shit. Trade him for fucking a late first, but you probably won't get probably a second.
Trade him for Deontay Johnson.
Take a second.
Yeah.
Wait. You did that?
I did that. It was a mistake.
Hey, don't you remember this? We talked about this.
No, I don't remember that.
Bro, you called him out for it in the chat. You were like, who sent that trade?
I had a lapse in judgment. We discussed it. This was months ago. Obviously, of course it froze on that screen. We get to see the disbelief for a few more seconds longer. It was obviously before the draft, but
wait, hold on. Were you not frozen there?
Oh, he was frozen.
I was frozen. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, holy shit! You're just holding that.
Okay, well, I didn't know that happened, but
sometimes mistakes are made.
I agree wholeheartedly with that one. All right, well, let's just do serpentine type, and Brandon, go second punch here.
I'm gonna go with Brandin Cooks. Obviously, the glaring reason for this is because
Gordon last year, basically.
The question at quarterback: will Deshaun Watson be playing? Will he be traded? Probably not, is my guess. And if that's not the case, or if that is the case, Tyrod Taylor, that rookie, will be starting, and that's not a situation I'm going to be willing to really want Brandin Cooks in. And also, another thing that I've kind of thought about, it's not really something in my mind that's scarce. It's more like the quarterback situation that makes me timid for Brandin Cooks, but it's just that Brandin Cooks has never really been by himself. He's always had a wide receiver 2 with him, and I think that, not that just changes my outlook on the player. I think he's a great player, but just the combination of just bad quarterback play and being all alone is negative in my mind. And I think he's undervalued.
Not yet.
But I still think I would stay away personally, unless you get him for super cheap.
Counterpoint, I think he's too undervalued and you should trade for him.
Counterpoint, I think he's going to be a Melvin Gordon-esque wide receiver where you should get what you can for him while you can.
Edge on my side. It's 2 out of 3.
Well, no, I think I'm the polar opposite of Alex. I think you're in the middle somewhere. Because I don't want him by any means. If I have to,
yeah, I am in the middle then.
Yeah.
So I would take him if he was for,
I feel like you could get him
but
for pretty cheap.
Relatively,
Antonio
probably,
Brown
but
for
could be
Brandin
wrong.
Cooks, or is that just bonkers?
I would take Antonio Brown. Not gonna lie.
Really?
I would.
I
You
think
are
I'd go
clinically
Cooks
insane, but
in
okay.
Dynasty.
Tell me
That's
what
not
you
even a
want.
question. Brown's not on
Nah.
a team.
He's on the
He got
Buccaneers.
signed with the Bucks.
Did he resign?
Yeah, he re-signed. 1-year deal, but that
I'll take that production over a possibility of Brandin Cooks just not being in the NFL.
Is he guaranteed production?
halfway
Though?
through
Did he
the
really
year.
do anything like last year? Do we think he's?
he was pretty solid last year.
I just can't remember.
And
Bucks
plus,
last year. I don't know what it is.
The Bucks have a really easy schedule.
We always say that now.
It's fair. It's fair.
Hey, Cooks,
Ed, who's your second
he's
man?
way older.
My second choice fantasy is it's Robby Anderson from the New York Panthers. Okay. He's what, like 28 years old.
He played for both of them, so
he did, and he has a quarterback from the New York Panthers as
They
well.
signed Le'Veon Bell too, and
Adam Gase comes in as an offensive consultant. That'd be something. That would be something.
What's not?
Anyway, Robby Anderson, the replacement for Robby Anderson just got selected, and Terrace Marshall. Robby Anderson had a career year last year, right? What was it? Top 25 wide receiver, something like that.
Like 17. He was
Something
solid.
like that. He was up there. Where am I going with this? I feel like he's at his peak. He definitely is at his peak. Chance of him staying with that team next year, it's likely, it's possible, but at the same time, you don't know what Sam Darnold is, and if Sam Darnold isn't anything, like many people think he isn't, that doesn't make any sense. They're going to be stuck with Sam Darnold, or he's going to go to another new team, which is not a good thing for a wide receiver. And then on top of that, the possibility of losing your offensive coordinator you've been working with the past couple of years, and added competition, like I said, in Terrace Marshall. And he's, 28, 29? He's about to get old. I don't think he's really worth having on your dynasty rosters. Another one of those players I'd probably ship off. I wouldn't say by any means like Brandin Cooks-esque. I'd have him above Brandin Cooks, but at the same time, I would probably ship him away as soon as possible.
yeah, I think he hit
disagree?
his peak definitely. It's just a question of can he continue, and I mean he's had more seasons that hasn't hit that mark, and just this one. And he's got a different quarterback. And really, like, who's better, Teddy Bridgewater or Sam Darnold? I don't know if I can give an answer to
I'd
that.
rather have Darnold.
I can't.
I would go with Darnold for the upside, but I think, like, what I think of those two players right now, I think Teddy Bridgewater is better. But if Darnold improves, I think, who knows, you know? Again, there's so many mouths to feed in that offense, and you never know who's going to be the odd man out. I had DJ Moore last season, and I hated it. I hated that. And this was without McCaffrey and without Terrace Marshall. So it's like, I don't know. I don't like having players with just that type of offense.
Yeah, I've already said before. I think Robby Anderson might have hit his peak last year. We'll find out. First of all, I want to point out, like, making it seem like Antonio Brown looked league on fire in his last half of the season. He was solid, but, like, it's not like he fucking exploded. Make me do a double take. I had to check if I was really stupid.
Well, for what he did, it was worth something.
And wasn't he
He's worth
signed like
something.
halfway
17
through
points
the
in
season?
week 15 is pretty solid. That's nothing. I mean, that's a pretty good get if you're in the playoffs still. But, like, Brandin Cooks was, like, borderline wide receiver 1.
With Deshaun Watson, not Davis
Yeah,
Mills.
that's true.
It's true, but I have a lower opinion on Brown. He's probably a better player than I'm giving him credit for. Davis Mills got to throw to somebody. Anyway, next player. I'm going to go Chris Carson next. I know this is big. I know Brandon is a big Chris Carson fan.
For this year.
I just feel like he's only got a couple of years left.
That's why.
You know, you might not really be able to sell him for a whole lot, but I wouldn't trade for him. I just think, like, he's battled injuries before. Like, he missed a large portion of last season of injury. I feel like they were already like moving into sort of like a timeshare, and like Jeff Penny this year, which might mean something, might not. You know, they got some guys. I feel like even if he stays healthy, he'll be in a timeshare, and then he probably won't stay healthy the whole season. So it's just a scary one for me. I feel like he's had his time in the sun. It's downhill from here.
I was shocked to see him even come back and be the starter again. Not gonna lie. So
And
I
good.
mean,
He's year in, year out. Great running back. So good. Undervalued like crazy. He was even being involved in the receiving down like crazy. Like Chris Carson is personally one of my more favorite running backs, just as a player standpoint, because like, you know, I like rooting for the underdog, and I feel like Chris Carson is just, no one thinks of him as like Aaron Jones-esque, like.
To be fair, he's never
star
put up Aaron
player.
Jones numbers.
No, but I think he's a very efficient running back. And he's got it done in the passing game and the rushing game on a run-happy offense. But, yeah, one more year, and then I'm out on him. That's my opinion. But I do agree.
I would say out right now, but obviously that doesn't matter.
You know, if I could, I'll have him. So
I mean, personally, I considered like shooting a trade out for him, but then I was like, if I trade for him, I'd be caught holding the bag, and like, I don't want to in the end of season next year try and trade him, and his value will be pretty low compared to this year. So I decided against it.
If he has a good year or not, maybe he stays healthy, it's a good season. You can trade him for something. Maybe that doesn't happen. So anyway, next guy. My third guy, Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay. Not big on that this year for a few different reasons. One of them, and maybe this is just like something that I can't get past, but like I think he'll age poorly. He's struggled to create separation in his career. He's got like one of the highest like contested catch. Like, now he's good at the contested catches, but he relies on them. I think that's an issue for two things. One, as he gets older, it's going to be a problem. I think he kind of reminds me of like Alshon Jeffrey in that sense. And if there's an injury or something and like some of the athleticism goes, that's a significant problem. But the other problem is Daniel Jones. Because when you rely on contested catches, you rely on your quarterback to put the ball in a fucking spot that you can catch it. And Daniel Jones cannot do that consistently. And I think that might be an issue with him, that downgraded quarterback. Plus, like, it's not a big deal. I expect him to get he should get a lot of, like, targets at least. But, like, there are a lot of mouths to feed. That's not really the bigger problem for me. The bigger problem for me is the health concerns along with the fact that he's still saddled with Daniel Jones. And I don't know how the future is going to improve. I'm out on him. Not a big fan. He scares me. Ass. That's super cheap.
That New York Giants team as a whole is just a question mark in my mind because, I mean, you got Golladay there and you've got Barkley coming back. So it's like, what targets? There's no targets that left in the offseason. They're just gaining. Like, who's losing those targets?
Shepard to the bench along with Darius Slayton.
Yeah.
My guess.
I mean, that's
Tate.
You know, say the corpse of Golden Tate
Golden
from
Tate.
a football perspective.
I honestly thought he left in free agency.
No, he did.
Okay.
I think he's still a free
But, like,
agent.
how much did he actually do last season? Like, I couldn't imagine
Not
he
much.
was
I think
involved
they phased him out last
much
year.
at all. But
Tony as well. Directly to the bench with you, young man.
And then Tony also coming in, and like the offense just is, and like Evan Ingram is he going to get traded? You know, I think he's a candidate for a trade for a tight end. I think he might get traded. To you. So, yeah.
Hold on, Clifford.
You're watching a good show.
What's up, Cliff? Cliff, I'm in the middle of something. Could I finish this?
I haven't seen him in a while.
He comes over every now and then.
So, Ed, who's your guy?
Shoot, my apologies. My next guy, the third vet you got to steer clear of, which me and Alex disagree on this one.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, this is going to be the thing. Adam Thielen.
It's definitely old. I'll give you that.
He's old. Justin Jefferson's obviously a shit ton better. Irv Smith's going to come into his own and be a good receiving option. Kirk Cousins going to be gone soon. That connection there is not going to be a thing anymore, obviously. And Lord knows if he's going to be a starting wide receiver on a team next year. That's
like Jefferson.
The season after this season, or
yeah, after this season.
I think he can still be a solid wide receiver too for a couple of years. So I guess it's just a matter of like what you could get for him. Because if someone's still treating him like a wide receiver one, but I doubt that.
No, I don't think he's been treated as a wide receiver one for the past 2 years, honestly. Even though his performances have been up there, I don't know if anybody's treating him as such in Dynasty.
Yeah.
That's just why I like it, because I feel like he's just not – I tried to take in consideration, like, value when doing these. And I don't know if Carson's really overvalued, but I just feel like Thielen can be had for pennies in some spots. And that's why I feel like I wouldn't rush to get rid of him. I think, like, if I don't trade a lot to get him, if it didn't cost me a lot to get him, then I'm not worried about him expiring in, 2 or 3 years.
Well, I mean – I don't really give a crap about how much it costs to get him, but the fact that you're going to be sitting there holding him when he does expire in a year, when you could have had something when Lord knows if he's actually going to do that, what he did the past 3 years this year. That's the thing.
But I just said if I don't pay a lot to get him, then I'm not expecting, continued
Oh,
production.
I thought you said what you had paid to get him.
No, I'm saying if you don't pay a lot, then it's not going to matter to me when he expires in a few years because, I didn't pay it there. I was expecting this.
I mean, yeah, if you don't pay a lot, but I don't know what the fuck his price is. I'm just saying I don't want him. I don't know if he's going to have the same year. Well, I definitely don't think he's going to have the same year as he has in the past this year, and then I think this is the last year that he has any relevance in fantasy. That's just my thoughts.
I mean, if he leaves Minnesota, I could see him going to, a receiver-needy team. Say, and I don't think this is going to happen, but, let's say the Chiefs never fill that wide receiver 2 or 3 spot, and he slides in there after this season and puts up a couple of wide receiver, mid-tier, low-tier, high-end wide receiver 2, 3 finish. Yeah, I'm not expecting the world of him. I don't expect more wide receiver 1 seasons. I just feel like his game's not based around athleticism, so, he should have a few more years of solid play.
It's logical, but I just don't agree.
Yeah, I think he's set for some negative regression because, I forget if I said this stat on air a week or 2 ago, but forget the exact stat, but it was around, he caught, eight or 9 of 11 red zone touchdowns. That's insane. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat. That's going to go down, and that's ultimately going to make his, output go down.
Yeah, I would expect him to be more of a lower end 2, honestly, if not a 3. But those still have some value.
Yeah. And personally, I tried getting him for dimes just because I'd be willing to be caught with the bag if it was for, a cheap offer.
Oh
yeah, but you're not getting him for cheap in our league.
I know. That's why I stopped.
To be fair, in a couple of leagues I'm also in, you're not getting it for cheap. So that's my thought process as well.
Yeah, because so far everyone that
if you could sell high, you should.
Yeah.
So, I just
know what high is.
I don't know who's going to buy high for him.
Well, you said you tried to get him. Where are you trying to give up?
I forget.
No, I'm talking ahead. Unless.
Okay.
It was a second and a player. I'm not paying more than that for Thielen. Second. I don't think it was Paris Campbell, but it was something of that note. A young player that hasn't really done a shit ton, but still has possibility to do something.
Paris Campbell in a second. I feel like that's. I don't know.
I'm not a big Campbell fan, but if you're a fan of Campbell, I think that's reasonable. Because, again, you're only really counting on Thielen to be a 2 or a 3. So whoever this player is, if he could be a 3, and if you hit on that draft pick, then you won that trade easily. So, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty solid trade, actually. Well, I guess the last pick of these vets, it's going to be a guy who had, a Devontae Parker-esque season, breakout season. Came late. That's Corey Davis. So I'm sitting here telling you guys not to buy into the hype. He had his best season last year. Yeah, sure. He was a solid receiver. You could start him in fantasy football. But 1, he's going to a different team with a lot of unknowns. 2, you don't know where he stands in that wide receiver room. He could be wide receiver 3, all we know. And 4, you don't know if Zach Wilson's going to be great or not.
5, the most important part, he's on the Jets.
And then there's that. He's on the Jets. And Ryan Tannehill it was a run-heavy offense, but Ryan Tannehill has been one of the best quarterbacks in the game since he's made the move to the Titans. So I don't know. The upside of Zach Wilson, is it there? Is that – and, are they going to be pass-heavy? I would assume they'd be a pass-heavy offense, just the way they've been building their offense. But I don't know. I think Corey Davis had his best year, and if you could trade him off of that hype, I would.
My only thing is, I don't think you'd get anything for him.
Yeah,
I think you could.
Probably.
I feel like the consensus of him is basically what you said, that nobody gives a shit.
I think someone would –
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the waiver wire in some shallower dynasty leagues.
That'd be surprising to me.
I'm talking don't think our bench. Think a third of our bench. That's what I mean by shallow.
I think that Corey Davis, I think some people would, because even an owner of Corey Davis would be somewhat low on him. So I feel I don't know. I think some people would think highly of Corey Davis.
Would both of you have Davis higher than Mims or Mims higher than Davis?
I have Corey Davis higher than Mims.
But you don't.
But then again, I don't know much about Mims.
I don't really. I don't. I mean, my gut reaction is that Mims sucks, but he's still on the Jets, so we don't know. The Jets could have just jetsed it, but that could also happen to Corey Davis.
This offense could turn into the Chiefs' offense.
I want Elijah
Alex
Moore.
would be like, it's the Jets.
Still the Jets.
That was just a fluke season.
Well, if they sustained it, then they'd no longer be the Jets. But pretty much for as long as I've been a functioning grown person, they've been the Jets. So they're going to continue.
It's a whole entirely different coaching staff, offense.
That's what we said last time.
Back when they had Braylon Edwards and Mark Sanchez, that offense is something.
Mark Sanchez.
The early stages of Mark Sanchez, not the
Marshall, Decker.
Teams led by their defense then anyway.
Forte was there, right? When Marshall and Decker were there. That was a solid offense.
Santonio Holmes. Was LT there at one point as well?
I believe so.
I hope not. That would just be embarrassing.
I think he was.
For everybody involved.
LT's my favorite.
The Jets weren't always the Jets.
They were the Jets when Mark Sanchez was running into players' asses on national television.
That was 4 years after they went to the championship against the Patriots. I think that was, or some shit like that. But
and you see where the Eagles are
they weren't
4
the
years
Jets
after they won the Super Bowl.
They're the Jets now. I don't really think Mims is that good. I'm not really that excited about Davis. He'll probably have a better season than I'm giving him credit for. I want Elijah Moore.
Even when Jameson Crowder still has a role?
Overhyped Elijah Moore. Way out the roof. Get that shit out of here.
So get that shit out of here.
My man's getting underhyped. Fuck you.
That is not true. I've heard so much good things about Elijah Moore.
Because he's going to be good. Should be hearing those good things. He's going to be good.
Well, he's not a vet, so he shouldn't have ever been brought up here.
Wow.
He's the wide receiver.
He hasn't had a day in the NFL. That would make him a vet if he had.
If he
One
If he
had
had
NFL snap.
a year of
He
accrued
could be on the
service is
bench.
what I actually said, but thank you for listening.
one day of accrued service, Elijah Moore will be an NFL vet.
In the
Thank you for
OTAs,
listening.
I'm a vet now, everyone.
A day is not a year. I'm happy to clarify the confusion, but a year is actually 365 days. I can't count these out on my fingers because I only have 10 of them.
Well, we're here for a
You
while.
might get the
Count
picture.
them out.
I'm good. I'm good on that. Elijah Moore, wide receiver 1. I don't give a fuck about Mims or Davis.
Wide receiver
Got
1?
him.
That's
Trade him.
ludicrous.
He's going to be the wide receiver
Jets.
1 of that
It's the
team.
Jets.
Well, Jets still have to have a wide receiver 1, even if he finishes as a wide receiver 7 in real life.
This is the end of the podcast when we get into the Elijah
That's it.
Moore talk.
Yeah, has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's equivalent to Rashad Perriman.
Whoa.
I don't even
That's
have
some-
to qualify
that's
that
some
in
high
response
praise.
because, I mean,
That is
Brandon
some
knows
high
he's an idiot
praise.
with that one. So.
Rashad Perriman's going to be what you think Elijah Moore is going to be.
You can't piss me off anymore with the Rashad Perriman stuff because at this point, like, it's just a joke and I treat
I
it
know.
as such. I get the same argument that we just did last year, except now he's with the Lions. And honestly, the Lions are about to become the Jets if they haven't already.
Nah.
Like, when the Jets go 7-9 this year, they're officially transferring the Jets over to the Lions. I love my boy Jared Goff. He's the perfect poster boy to lead the new
Not
Jets.
with Dan Campbell.
No
Did
way.
you see that man in his press conference with the fucking race helmet on, dude?
Bro, all that shit's stupid, man.
He's
You don't play
a
football by
man.
biting each other's knees off. I'm sick of this, like, fucking
Supposedly he's gonna have a
bullshit,
pet
you know?
lion. He's gonna raise a pet lion through his tenure with the
That's
Lions. And then
illegal.
eventually, when they
Good.
make their first,
That's illegal.
That's dedication.
It's very
we'll just
illegal.
leave that.
Every
Yeah,
NFL coach on an NFL team should have a mascot. The Eagles,
I agree.
the head coach
So, like,
should
the
have
Jets,
an eagle. Yeah.
they should just have
Own
a
a
jet
jet.
on the
Own a
sideline.
jet.
Just a plane chilling on the sideline. Whenever they score, the plane takes
I don't know
off,
what the Chargers are going to
crashes
do.
into the
They might need to resign
Lightning.
from the NFL.
– they're just
have
going
an
to –
electric
lightning bolts.
Lightning in the
Electric.
bottle.
lightning. Anyway, I think that signs us off here today. Yeah. Check out
5
firstchoicepodcast.com.
minutes too long.
We got a bunch of articles and pogs and
Got a
blogs.
new
I don't know
article
what pog
posted.
is.
Mr.
And
Ed
if you want to dump
talked
in some
about the veteran.
dumpsters, if you want to dive in some dumpsters with the veteran Jacoby Myers and myself, come jump in.
Jacoby
And,
Myers went dumpster diving with you?
Yeah.
Actually,
That was
well, I
experience.
went in. He didn't go with me. He came
You
out.
found
with me.
him in there.
I went in and
Smart man.
like the claw at Jacoby Myers.
No, that picture of
course
you,
not.
you were in the
Mhm.
in the dumpster.
Oh yeah, I was in there with him.
To know
Good
what
time.
we're talking about,
You
have
got to
to
get
look
into
at
the dirty
article.
areas if you want to make profit. So I respect it.
I live in
And
the
that's
dirty
it.
areas.
That is it.
Check us out on all
Right.
podcasts, channels, Spotify, Apple, all of it. Goodbye.
Dude.